We're going to go through this and talk about how women are being used by corporations to break up their families and create more revenue for the corporation until there's one giant corporation. It's going to be terrifying. Let's read through this. When it comes to passing wealth on to children, women have very different ideas to men. For women, legacy often means more than passing wealth down to the next generation. It also means being capable of positively impacting the lives of others. Mariana Mamu, head of advice beyond investing at UBS Global Wealth Management, told CNBC Make It. Now, UBS just bought Credit Suisse for several $billions. This is a huge company. And while she works for UBS, she's the head of advice beyond investing. What does that mean? You work at a wealth management company, but you're giving advice beyond investing, and that's very alarming. And that speaks to me, that says that this person's job is a little bit secretive, a little bit vague. I'm not sure if that's even a real name, Mariana Mamu. I don't believe you. But legacy means more than passing wealth down to the next generation. This might take a moment. That's all legacy means, is passing down what you have to the people in your family. When they say others, positively impacting the lives of others, they mean other people that are not in their family. And obviously this person is talking about other corporations or people who work for corporations. And this is going to be the identity of women, is subsidiary corporations. When they said corporations are people a few years ago, if you're old enough to remember, and you probably are, this is what they meant. This was a trap for women. Okay? This is to trick women into listening to corporations telling them to break up their families. All right? When they say pass it down to the next generation, who could they possibly be talking about? All right, let's move on, because it gets much more psychotic. Men and women have very different approaches to money, and that affects how they pass on wealth to their children. Many women look beyond their family when thinking about what to do with their wealth. Do you hear that? So you build a family, and then you look beyond that family in order to figure out what to do with the money you've earned. Why do you have a family? What is your family supposed to do now? They're supposed to also work for the corporation. So women are being encouraged to abandon their families and only endorse and support people who are involved with the corporation or corporations. According to a new report from UBS. Now, UBS, okay, let's move on. We already read that next paragraph. For example, the way women invest their wealth is often aligned with their personal values or in service of causes. Now, causes are brought forth by corporations and organizations and charitable foundations, which are not charitable. They exist for a reason, to hide taxes, to hide actions, to hide all kinds of things. Now, personal values, if you have a family, your personal values are not important. You're part of a group, a core that has group values based on blood and your supposed love for each other. Now, that love doesn't exist anymore for people. All that exists is the corporation and what you're supposed to do on their orders. Okay? Women tend to perceive and value wealth mainly as a source of security and tend to focus on being financially secure and able to afford a certain lifestyle for themselves and their loved ones over the long term. Now, what is this lifestyle that women are trying to afford? What do they believe other people who aren't women need? Children need love. Men don't need much at all. Just peace and quiet. These are things that are cheap. So when it says themselves first. It really means that. I'm going to read that again because this is the psychotic way that women are being raised, not by their mothers and fathers, but by corporations to think. Women tend to perceive and value wealth mainly as a source of security and tend to focus on being financially secure and able to afford a certain lifestyle for themselves. We're not even going to say the next part because that's what it's about. It's about the corporation. How women pass on their wealth. Women also tackle questions about how to pass on their wealth to their heirs differently from men, the report noted. As for the question of when to pass on wealth, the differences between men and women are especially pronounced, the report found, citing data from the 2022 UBS Investor Watch survey. So this is a very recent survey. More women prefer to wait and pass on wealth after their death as they don't want their heirs to worry about their health. Do you hear that? This is brilliantly brilliantly written, very malevolent, and it's kind of a brainwashing thing, and it's a twisting of words, but it's brilliantly written in a very malevolent spiritual way. Let's read that again and I'll break it down. More women prefer to wait and pass on wealth after their death as they don't want their heirs to worry about their health. So what it's trying to do is it's trying to paint these women that are hoarding the money that the corporation is giving them. It's trying to paint them as being these benevolent creatures that don't want people to worry about their health. They want to you want me to be healthy, then you need me to have this money from the corporation. In addition, more women than men worry about disputes between heirs. Do you hear what it's saying? They don't care. For example, 44% of women are concerned about the latter point compared to 37% of men. Now that's a negligible difference, but it is a difference. Another reason that women prefer to delay, I think they mean delay the handover, but delay handover of wealth while they are alive is that they want to remain flexible. More selfishness. And this is not the woman's nature. This is what the corporations are doing by creating a certain spirit in men and women. You know, the extreme masculine, extreme feminine, and then they split you apart and sell things to you. Now, men still buy more products, but the products that men buy are generally more assets, whereas women buy more liabilities. 63% of women and 53% of men gave this reason in the UBS survey. Now, they want to remain flexible. I assume they're talking about the lifestyle thing that they mentioned earlier, certain lifestyles for themselves. When it comes to arguments for passing on assets while they're still alive, 66% of women say younger generations already need monetary support compared to 61% of men. They are also slightly more motivated by educating heirs about handling wealth. Now, these differences are negligible, but they're going to grow as women hoard more money and become closer and closer and more really sexually involved with corporations. Because corporations are people. This is legislation. Corporations are people. So if corporations are people, women are corporations, is what this is saying. So they want to educate the people on how to handle their wealth after they die. They don't want to actually help the people that in their families and their friends while they're alive. What they want to do is they want to receive this money from their husbands, who are the corporations. Their husbands are the corporations, not men. Their children are the corporations that their children may found. If their children don't found any corporations, they don't have children. They will disown their children, or if they don't work for the corporations. Now, men, on the other hand, are more likely to transfer money before their death for tax reasons. 65% of men and 61% of women said this. or to watch their heirs make use of it. Now, notice that there's this malevolent spin that they put on women. Put on men. They mention first that they think it's for tax reasons. But then the real reason is the second reason, to watch their heirs make use of it. Now, once again, I don't think this is the nature of women, but when you put women in charge of the world, this is what's going to happen. And this is going to get worse and worse over time. Succession planning. The gender differences don't stop there. In addition to women being unsure about how much wealth they can pass on, the report found that one of the reasons they are hesitant to do so before they die is that they aren't sure how. What you do is you take care of people with your money. This is what men do. This is what men have the drive to do, is to take care of people with their money. Now, men can be very stingy with their money because they know that the world is very unforgiving. There's not going to be people, waiting on street corners to tell you that you're pretty and they want to take care of you if you're a man. If you fail, you're going to be on the street dying. I've been through this many times in my life, and I keep coming back because I'm amazing. But this is it's not the same for everybody, and it is gendered. There is a gender gap in the understanding around succession planning. Do you see how this is being painted as if women are victims? Getting expert advice, including on how to invest in a way that ensures wealth growth, is balanced with values, and making plans sooner rather than later are therefore key, the report says. Now, the expert advice they're talking about is the corporation. And Mariana Mamu, this person who works for UBS, who just bought Credit Suisse, is the corporation. Okay? She's the expert advice, and she's going to tell you to give all of your undivided attention to your husband, who is the corporation. One thing that might help with this is that women say they find it easier than men to talk about money with their families, according to UBS data. Such discussions around wealth can also help with concerns like conflicts around inheritance and financial skills. They're not giving statistics for that. So I don't know where they're getting that from. I guess it says according to UBS data, I guess they asked that question. But I know that men don't want to talk to women about money because women want to be in bed with the corporations and they will take your money and take it to the corporations. So that's that's what that is. Moving forward, including younger generations in investment decisions should lead to a smoother transfer of wealth with fewer surprises. Furthermore, incorporating sustainable investing solutions can also be a great way to engage with and bring in the next generation. Okay? These people believe that bringing in the next generation has to do with sustainable investing solutions. Bringing in the next generation has to do with some kind of tradition of order in the family between the man, the woman, and the children. Or in this case, what it looks like it's going to be the corporation, the woman, the children, and the man. All out of order. But it is what it is. This, I don't lament this. I'm just sharing what I know, knowing no one is interested or will listen, but I'm going to share it anyway because it helps me to know that I'm getting it out. Investing together with the next generation provides a great opportunity to pass on the values and financial lessons that matter when the next generation comes of age. Now they're talking about investing together because they believe that you've forgotten what they said earlier, which is that women tend to perceive value and wealth mainly as a source of security and tend to focus on being financially secure and able to afford a certain lifestyle for themselves and then their loved ones over the long term. It's really sad. A final point the report makes is that women often outlive and therefore inherit money from men. That means they have more wealth to transfer to the next generation, making plans and conversations about this even more important. Now, women live longer than men, substantially longer than men often, because men's lives are difficult and unforgiving. As a man, when you walk across the street, people try to hit you with their cars. I'm going to say that again. As a man, when you walk across the street, even when you have the light, people try to hit you with their cars. As a woman, you can jaywalk and traffic will actually stop in the middle of the street. I could bring many more examples, but it's just going to make me sound bitter. And all I'm really trying to do is save the world. Now, as I began doing this when I was about 12 years old, I received many comments. Don't be a martyr. Don't be a martyr. Now, what they really meant was don't be a martyr, be a nigger. But, I am who I am. I'm not a martyr. I'm not a nigger. I'm a genius in every regard, every respect. So I hope you have a great day, great night, wherever you are in the world. And pay attention to what's going on and watch out for women. Watch out for them. They're extremely dangerous and malevolent, and it's not because of who they are, it's because they're a vessel for energy. And the energy that's being given to them is coming from the corporation, and it's about making money at all costs, including the eradication of all families, all love, all peace, all gentleness, all animals, all nature, all water, the clean air, everything in the world. And the energy that creates this drive to kill everything in exchange for abundance is out otherworldly. It's not necessarily a man-made thing. It's an energy that exists in the universe, as they would say. This is why witches and such talk about the universe so much. So I hope you have a wonderful night. Peace and love and quiet to you.